Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian, and I have decided I will vlog daily from my country Ukraine since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in my country Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts from our history, our culture, our background, or whatever interests you. And today I want to speak a little bit about weapons. A typical girl vlogger will tell you a lot about makeup, fashion, maybe food, and I'm not being stereotypical, but these are kind of videos I liked watching before the war. But now a typical Ukrainian vlogger will tell you more about different kinds of weapons that we receive in Ukraine and now can use against our enemy Russia. First of all, I would like to express huge gratitude to all of these countries and governments that are pushed by the people of these countries who send us weapons, as they are extremely important in this war against Russia. So today I want to tell you my personal observations. Of course, I'm not an expert and I'm a person who knew nothing about different kinds of weapons or tactics of war half a year ago. And now I can tell you, like the majority of Ukrainians know lots of names of weapons, and not just the names, but also the way these weapons work and why it is important to receive them. How can they change the situation in war with Russia? So now we have some HIMARS, we have MLRS, and this changes the situation for the better. And well, first of all, many of us know that Russian army was the second strongest army in the world. Now it is treated as the second strongest army in Ukraine. But the problem is, being illogical, being outdated, Russian army is really big. They have millions of people they don't care about and they can easily sacrifice for the sake of one Ukrainian village. And they have lots and lots of weapons. Many of these weapons the majority of these weapons were created back in the USSR. Some were even received back from Ukraine, which was our huge mistake due to Budapest Memorandum, some other gas agreements and other stuff that Russians used to deceive many post-Soviet countries. So anyway, we have also given them back lots of planes, lots of missiles that they return us now, but in a little bit perverted way. So, Russian army is big. They have lots of people and they have lots of weapons. When I read the information that they use missiles, various rockets that were created at the beginning of the 60s, you know, I have this like moments of freezing, because I cannot believe things that were made so long ago are now used in this war, because it's a really long period to store weapons, to keep them normal, I don't know, dry and working well. The reason they use these weapons is the fact that they don't produce many, and they had lots and lots of storages that were created perhaps during the times of the Cold War, during this booming period in the Soviet Union. And one of the reasons, some experts say that one of the reasons why Russia was so aggressive towards other countries, of course, it's chauvinism, Nazism and other things, but also the enormous amount of weapons that was easier for them to spend on battlefields than just to, I don't know, how can you waste them? What do you do with these things that are outdated? They are weapons, they are toxic, so it is definitely another plus for Russians. They can use them in different wars that they initiate within the last decade or more in Europe and other countries of the world. So, but anyway, all these weapons are really old, and they use the technologies that were popular back in 60s, in 70s, and that's why many of their shootings are very inaccurate. And they can miss targets like with seriously, and there are lots of examples of that. And of course, in Ukraine, we also had old Soviet weapons, and if we had only these old Soviet weapons, it would be really difficult for us to fight in this war. And thanks to our allies, now we have more and more high-quality weapons, innovative weapons that can change the situation for the better. Taking into account that we are a small country in comparison to Russia, there are memes that demonstrate Ukraine next to Russia and that still we are fighting and we are winning, you know, like this joke about the size of the dog. It's not the size of the dog, but the size of the fight in the dog that matters. So that is exactly about Ukraine, but also the support of our allies, new weapons coming really slowly and in small numbers, because, for example, as far as I know, we have like 9 HIMARS right now, and we're supposed to have 12, and there are lots of countries that have more of them. But anyway, even those limited number of these weapons change the situation in front tremendously. What is specific about these weapons? Once again, I'm not an expert, but I realize that they use better technologies. They can work in any weather, and they can work in any time of the day, because they use GPS systems to target the enemy, and this allows them to work, for example, at night. Russians don't have technologies like that. And what is also important, they are very useful during this phase of the war, because the traditional Russian tactics right now will be to use aviation and artillery to destroy everything on their way, and then to start marching with the soldiers. And now these totally modern systems of artillery allow us to target Russian objects, Russian various points where they store weapons, where they make decisions, and other important connection points, just like for really long distances, going deep, far away from the front line. From what I know, we can reach like targets 30, 80 kilometers, and that is a tremendous change, because this allows us not to come in direct contact with Russians, and of course to save the lives of Ukrainian soldiers. And so these controlled weapons that West gives us are definitely better than uncontrolled, if you can say, blind weapons that Russia is using right now. And also, this is like when we speak about Russian weapons, these are traditional Smerch, Uragan, and other things. But what is more important, for example, HIMARS, I love watching the videos, how they work. Once again, it's not very girly, but it's very Ukrainian. And these are really small cars, and they are very mobile, and they can shoot 5-6 times per hour. And Russian weapons of this type, they are very outdated, and it takes one shot during like an hour. So definitely they lag behind, and they are stationary, and it is almost impossible for them, taking into account that the front line is really long, to catch this 4 HIMARS, for example, working in the front, that shoot and leave and escape and hide, and all of that is really dynamic. And as far as I understand, they cause not only problems, they not only destroy lots of Russian weapon storages, but they also cause fear among the Russian military, and they also cut down the arguments of Russian propagandists, because, you know, this is very typically Russian to say that we have the best scientists, we fly in cosmos, we build the best weapons. And here, when they see how HIMARS work, when they see how MLRS work, how Caesar work, they realize how far away they are, and that they actually can do nothing to avoid this artillery attacks, and also to explain this to the military and to their people. How come this rotten West is capable of creating such technologies that Russian military could not dream about? So I do hope that more and more of such weapons will come. From what I understand, listening to our experts, it is also very much useful for the producers of the weapons, as this tragic but at the same time unique war gives them a possibility to analyze the work of their weapons, to improve the technology, and of course to produce more weapons. Once again, I have to repeat that before the start of this war, I was a totally peaceful person, and I was the one who did not believe Russia will attack and a full-scale war is possible in the 21st century. But now I realize that if you want peace, you have to be prepared for the war. So if your countries think about demilitarization with Russia in its present state, with some other totalitarian or empire state countries, it is impossible to agree on this demilitarization process. This is my personal Ukrainian advice. Also, it is good to develop new technologies because it is unavoidable in this modern world with countries that are so aggressive, with countries that are so uncontrollable. So I would like to finish my vlog once again thanking the countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Norway, Sweden, France, lots of countries who borrow, sell, give us weapons, modern weapons that allow us to win in this war. Because when the sizes of the countries, the sizes of the armies, the number of the weapons is definitely not for the not good in comparison for Ukraine, but with this modern technologies, with this modern weapons, it can turn situation for the better. Thank you for watching my vlogs, and thank you for providing advice and informing me about the things that are happening in your countries. Please ask me questions in comments. I'm always glad to answer them in my future vlogs. If you like videos, like and share, and please subscribe, because the larger my channel grows, the more chances I have to tell people about Ukraine. And please do not forget that this war continues, and it should be like that, because war is not normal. And thank you for becoming my patrons. That is an inspiration for buying me coffees and for giving me the opportunity to continue vlogging. Slava Ukraini!